In Chris Tuckman's long-awaited directorial debut, Shelby Oaks, we follow Mia as she desperately searches for her sister, Riley Brennan, by using footage left behind after she went missing 12 years earlier. What's up, everybody? Welcome to In Love with Horror. My name is AJ.
And I'm Christy.
And y'all, welcome to our spoiler-free review and our spoiler discussion for Shelby Oaks. Just like the top of the video says, this is one of those ones that people have really been waiting for. Like, I feel like Shelby Oaks has been in the works for a long time.
Very long time.
You know, very like inspiring story behind it, coming from YouTuber Chris Tuckman. It being one of the most successful crowdfunded Kickstarter films in terms of the history of those type of campaigns. So this is just one that people have been anxiously waiting to see. So you've actually already seen it once.
I did.
So Christy saw it once at Fantastic Fest. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is actually your second watch of the film. And this was my first watch of the film. So I was definitely excited going in, especially because, you had already told me like, yeah, I think you'll like this one. Obviously there's been a lot of early screenings for this film, like quite a bit actually.
And it was actually the Scream Unseen, is that what you call it?
Yeah, it was the AMC Scream Unseen this past Monday. Mm-hmm. So like there's been a ton of early screenings, early reviews. And I feel like generally speaking, I feel like people have really been up on this film. So excited to dive into this film and give you our thoughts for Shelby Oaks. So again, this is the spoiler-free section. We will do a spoiler warning before we switch to the spoiler discussion. So you'll have plenty of time to switch off if you need to, if you don't want to be spoiled. But with that, let's go ahead and jump into the spoiler-free part. So I don't know, you want to start with your thoughts, especially because you're going in on a second watch. So I'm curious to see, like, how do you feel watching it the second time? Does it still hold up? Does it still work? Kind of what are you thinking about Shelby Oaks right now?
Okay, well, first of all, I was very excited to see this movie before I saw it at Fantastic Fest. I talked about it a lot of times.
Everybody's dumb hyped to see this movie.
I was super hyped to see this. Also, it got really great reception at TIFF as well. So automatically going in, I was like, okay, this must be transcendent. You know what I'm saying?
It definitely seems that way with how people talk about it.
Of Mike Flanagan as well. And so like for him to be like, oh, I'm putting my stamp on this. We were both like, okay, so this must be like a banger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I still feel the same in regards to this, what I'm about to say, as I did the first time I saw it. It's definitely not the banger I was expecting it to be. Mm-hmm. But that does not mean it was not a good movie. I do think it was a good movie. You can definitely tell it was well made. I felt as though watching it, I can see, this was a passion project. I feel even hearing Chris Tuckman himself talk about this movie at Fantastic Fest, obviously, I feel it comes through. Like, he made this film with horror fans in mind, and I feel that. Also, I expected this to feel more found footage, and it's not that at all.
Definitely not, and to in some capacities. Yeah.
No, it was lacking on the found footage aspect itself. It's so little. I don't even know why they even said this was a found footage film at all. Like, there is a mockumentary aspect of it that takes up more of a chunk of the time than the found footage part.
Right.
And then even that is still only a small part in comparison to the more traditional narrative that takes place. Mm-hmm. Like if you haven't seen the movie, it's definitely not. Don't go in expecting this to feel like a found footage movie.
Yeah, you'll be setting yourself up if you go in.
If you like found footage, for sure.
Yep.
Now, if you don't like found footage, then that might be a plus for you, because I know that there are people who don't like found footage. So that might have been a turnoff for you. So this might be a plus for you going in. You're like, okay, well, now I might go see this now. But all that aside, I think overall, it's a good story. There are a lot of elements that I'm glad to see were followed through, because I feel like we've gotten a lot of movies that don't follow through on certain ideas. And so it was good to see that actually carried through to the end, which we can talk more about in the spoiler portion.
Yep.
Performances. The main girl who plays Mia, I did not take the time to look up her name, so I'm so sorry I can't provide her name. But babe, she got on my nerves.
Yeah, I know it was bothering you a lot watching this film. It didn't bother me that much, but I didn't notice it. And I'm like, yeah, that is like.
And this was the same thing the first time I watched it as well. Like her performance is, it bothers me so badly. I don't know what else to say about it. I just don't really like her performance.
Yeah.
And what else can I say about it? I really did like the cinematography. It was very well shot. I do feel like I can kind of tell where things shift at. Because, some people are saying it's so seamless, but it's not to me. You can definitely tell like this, it kind of feels bulky. There's a lot of different.
When you say seamless, what were they referring to? Seamless?
The mockumentary found footage and then that narrative style blending together seamlessly. I don't feel that way at all. I actually feel the complete opposite. I feel like it should have just been full narrative style, full traditional filmmaking style, versus trying to incorporate found footage and mockumentary. They could have even just did the found footage parts because, like I said, there's such a small piece of it. They could have just showed that part and taken out the mockumentary completely, that part. And that would have been a much better movie, in my opinion. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Score. There are some good parts of the score, but I do think it was way too loud.
It did seem kind of loud.
In some parts, like, it's like, bah, bah, bah. And I'm like, why are we doing this right now?
Yeah.
Like, dial it back.
Yeah, there was parts where it did seem overly
like they're trying
loud.
to force you to make this part seem scary
Force
to
the
you.
feeling, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty much my spoiler-free critiques on the movie.
Yeah, so spoiler-free. I'm definitely kind of in the place of where like I like the movie, but I don't love it. I really wanted to love it, but I just kind of like it, and I'm very like in the middle on this movie because there's a lot of elements that I do like, but then there's a lot of elements that just don't feel good. And so I think it's a big thing for this movie for me is like something about like the initial setup just feels kind of dry for some reason. It feels very forgettable. It feels kind of dry, and. I don't know if it's like, I can't put my finger on if it's like the performances or just the way the story's told. And it might just be the way the story's told. Because like you said, like it's doing this mockumentary thing, plus found footage, plus narrative. For me personally, I think that it did all these things. But because it was split amongst these things, they are all kind of lesser. I think they should have just picked one avenue and then just stuck to it. And I think it would have made a better film. Personally, I almost feel like this movie would have, like you said, would have worked better as a full, just straight narrative movie. Like, take the found footage aspect out. Like, I think you could still show her little tapes and stuff. I think you can still do that, but
I did like
all the documentary shit, take that, like the news clips, like take all that shit out. Because I feel like that's when it felt like it started, like that's when it felt like it dragged a little bit. Maybe those moments were going on a little bit too long. I'm not really sure, but there's just something about the film for me that just didn't like feel good until we hit like a certain point when it's like, oh, okay, like this is the part that I like.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. It just doesn't flow well. Like if this could have been a full mockumentary style, that would have been great. But I don't think it works well in this case with this other part not being mockumentary.
That's what I'm saying. Like they should have just picked one lane,
right, yes, exactly,
and then just stuck to it.
Yeah.
So I think that by doing it that way, it doesn't do it any favors. Mm-hmm. The performances I thought were fine. They're all serviceable. I didn't really have no issues with them. Shout out to Keith David and being in the movie. That shit was hard.
In there. Yes, he was.
And I definitely think you can obviously tell when someone's got the gravitas on a film. Like, he's not in there very long.
He's not.
But the few seconds that he's in there is so good. And it's like, dang, I wish he was in the movie more. Because the delivery is just so well done. He's a legend, you know what I'm saying?
And then there's an old lady who plays a character named Norma. She did an excellent job too. She was creepy as heck.
For a creepy old lady, she was
perfect.
This is one of the best creepy old ladies I've seen in a while.
She was perfect.
But yes, I think the performances were fine. The score, like you mentioned, I thought there were moments of the score I really did like.
Yeah, there was some moments.
There were some good sounds in there that I liked. I do agree that sometimes it was like super loud, like they were really trying to force in the jump scare, or force in the creepy element.
That's a little bit too much.
Yeah, a little bit too much. But I think overall I did like the score. Audio design was fine. your typical horror fare. I feel like in terms of like jump scares and things like that. Now, from like a visual standpoint, there's certain things this movie does. I can't get into the spoilers of it, but for like my personal taste, it does some things I really like. And then also just with some of the camera work for some of the scare setups, I thought worked really good. So if like, like you mentioned, like this being his directorial debut, like I feel like there are moments where you could really see him shining.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like on his second film, he probably will hit a lot harder.
I can see that.
Because you can kind of also feel some of the stumbles within the first film. And that's not to say like he did a bad job or anything. I'm just saying that you can just feel it sometimes on the film. But overall, like to be a first feature, I think he did a great job in terms of like his technical ability, leadership, and like he obviously achieved his passionate vision.
He did.
Even if it didn't fully work for me in terms of the whole package. I can tell that he really gave it 100%, and I do think that this is obviously one of the better directorial debuts for a feature film because we've seen some horrible ones.
It helps that he had a humongous budget.
True. I
mean, humongous, and I say in terms of like an indie person who came from YouTube making a film. Like he had a lot of money to work with. Yeah. So I think that makes a difference as well.
I do kind of wonder what the original movie looked like before Neon and Mike Flanagan got involved. I wonder what that version, that version of the movie looked like. I am curious about that. But overall, I think this is a fine. I think it was a fine outing. For me personally, I would give it a 3 out of 5. And that's when we get into spoilers, you'll kind of find out why. Because at first I was going to do 2.5 out of 5, but there are certain elements of this movie that I like so much that it kind of bumps it up a little bit. But yeah, 3 out of 5 for me for Shelby Oaks. But anything else you want to add for spoiler free?
No, that's it.
Yeah, so that's our spoiler free part of this review. So for those that haven't seen the film yet and you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and save the spot on this video, this podcast right here. Go check out the film and then come back and join us for our spoiler discussion, because now we can get into the specifics, which is always better. I feel like it's way easier to do a review when you can really call out the stuff that you like or dislike, you thought worked or didn't work. So this is your spoiler warning. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the spoiler discussion. So where do you want to start? You want to start with the intro of the film? Or?
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, I did not mind the beginning of this movie, right? Because to me, I'm going into it expecting a found footage movie. Yeah. And it opens like a found footage movie. We have Riley calling out for help. Hey, like this is where I am. I'm scared. She's on a camera, like VHS style footage. You know what I'm saying? And then we get a bunch of like news reports and videos of content creators calling out these people for being fake. So Riley was a part of this group of people who did like investigations and things like that on YouTube. And they just went missing after one particular video where they went to a prison, which was a integral part of the story. Yep. And then we meet Mia. And this is kind of where you said it starts to slow down.
It drags. That, to me, the opening drags. Like the initial opening with just her being scared in the room, I thought that was very effective.
It was very effective.
That was very creepy. But when you get into like let me tell you about the Riley you don't know and like, and then all the news stories, like the combination of all that is kind of dragged to the point where I was like, okay, I'm getting a little bored and I'm getting a little tired. Like
they spend about what? How long would you say?
I don't know. It's a long time.
It was a while.
It's a long time.
She spends a while kind of like setting up everything. You know what I'm saying? Riley's dreams as a kid, what kind of kid she was, what kind of teenager she was, and, what her state of mind before she went missing, and where the different places they went. It takes a while. She basically takes us from when she was a little kid all the way up until she starts, her little paranoids thing. But yeah, that does take a while. And I do think it does affect the pacing. And then they get to a point where she's ready to stop. And then we get, like that found footage stuff we like, right? Like where they're seeing the people behind the camera, kind of a little bit like the taking of Deborah Logan, because they were also working on a documentary And so you see a lot, we got a couple shots of them with their like, headgear on and the cameras and stuff like that. And then we get a knock at the door, and that's where the movie shifts. This guy comes to the door and commits suicide. Mm-hmm. And then we go from found footage, mockumentary, to traditional filmmaking.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that part was great in terms of like the unexpectedness of the dude taking himself out at the doorstep. And then, that's how she gets a hold of the tape and kind of starts to move the story forward. Just like I said, the whole found footage aspect in the beginning of me just kind of dragged a little bit too long, and just started to feel a little bit uninteresting for me personally. I don't know, and I'm typically like the mockumentary stuff. Obviously we mentioned Hell House before, because I feel like Hell House is one of the ones that did it like so fucking good.
They did it really good, but it was all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and which adds.
This movie does a lot of things that Hell House did. I pointed this out to you when we talked about it. Like, they'll show a clip of something and then go back to it and then zoom it in, like, oh, you missed this type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Hell House did that a lot, but it was like a documentary, so that was the purpose of it. But yeah, so they kind of like use some of those same kind of like found footage style things in there. But then it kind of goes away. Like, we're done with that.
When she does it, when the zoom in on the pictures
she's doing it herself.
She's showing like her husband or something like that, and that's kind of like how we're viewing it. There's a lot of like exposition, like moments where like they're kind of spoon feeding you what's going on. They
spoon feed you quite a bit in this movie.
That also just doesn't make it feel.
It doesn't
very good.
Which is very interesting to me. Just hearing him talk about why he made some choices in this movie, and so I'm wondering why he decided to go with that approach of kind of like spoon feeding you when. I know in the horror community, people talk about that a lot. Like, they don't like that.
Don't do that. Don't do it.
So it's just very interesting that he decided to do that. Because like something will happen, we'll see it, and then they'll play back the audio of what they just said like 5 minutes ago. Just, hey, I know 5 minutes ago I said this. I'm just reminding you right now, so you can put these pieces together. Yep. Well, actually, Matt, let me put them together for you.
Exactly.
But yeah, that happens a lot in this movie. But yeah, so once the narrative kind of switched, she finds a tape on this guy, and then we go back to like found footage in a way, but we're watching her watch this tape for a while. She's watching that tape for a minute. Yeah,
that tape's pretty long.
Yeah.
That goes back to some of the drawn out parts of this. It was a great tape though, because eventually they get tore up. Some dude's face get ripped off.
His face does get ripped off.
And she sees him get captured. We also get our first glimpse at the incubus in the background, which is
that was
actually I mentioned at the top
cool.
of the video. Like, one of the elements that I really liked about this movie, that is one of the elements. Like,
that there's
the
an
incubus
actual
thing. Yeah, that shit is fire. I really like that
supernatural entity at play here. But yeah, we do get a few shots of this guy, this creature, this demon thing. And I like how subtle it is. It's not like, most of the times we have a jump scare, you go boom. It's not like that with him.
He's always lurking.
It's just he's just lurking in the corner.
Kind of like how Longlegs did in a way, where like you can't see it very good.
Well, I feel like you see it much better on this thing than in Longlegs.
Obviously, with Longlegs, they're really trying to hide in the background. But more the concept of just lurking. He's lurking. Always. Yeah.
Right, yeah. I did like the way they played with him in this. But yeah, so then she just goes on this journey, basically, of finding her sister. She meets with the detective, later on, and he kind of explains to her who this guy is. But she's keeping it a secret that she found this tape. She keeps watching it back over and over. She had a conversation about the fact that he went to this particular prison, and so she's following the breadcrumbs, and once she does that, like decides to go to the prison, I think it shifts again.
Yeah, it is like another shift. But this movie also does a trope that you don't like, where the husband doesn't believe the spouse.
I am so done with this trope. Again, I was like, come on, Chris Stuckman, why? Because even she's like, we can find her now. And to me, I'm thinking, this is a point where they can both team up together here and go find this girl.
He's like, nah, I'm good.
He does not. He's like, you need help. And I'm like, She gave him such good evidence too.
And then we just never see him again, basically.
Except for when they're at the hospital. But that's literally it. Yeah. We don't see him no more after that.
Right. Yeah, we didn't see him then. Yeah, he's kind of absent.
He's like, you need help. And so she's going.
And that's, maybe that's also when we talk about the world building of this is like, you would think that he would be calling her or something while she's out there, just gone.
No.
She just dipped out the house.
She is gone. But, and he's just like, even when this guy, kills himself in front of her, he's on the couch with her and he goes, "Are you okay?" Mm-hmm. What the fuck? That's all he says. She's like, "Yeah." And he gets up and goes upstairs.
I thought it was also weird she didn't clean the blood off her face.
That was super weird.
I feel like that'd be something you do like super immediate. So I thought it was weird that like literally all night long
she kept that on
her face. I mean, it makes for a great shot when she's watching the tape, but I feel like I'm like, okay,
yeah,
like she would have cleaned.
Go
that
clean
shit
your
off.
face.
Yeah.
Because at one point he hugs her, and then she puts that side of her face on his shoulder.
Right. Yep.
AJ has OCD, so I feel like if that was me, you'd be like, okay, go clean your face first.
I'd be like, you can clean your face up. Yeah. Like, you got
why do you have that still?
It's weird. Yeah.
You're right, but no, they had a really weird dynamic.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
it was a weird chemistry.
Yeah.
But we already mentioned the Keith David part in the beginning of the movie, but I like how he was talking about like the riot that happened in the prison. It just sounded really good.
It sounded so good. He did a really great job on his little scene. Mm-hmm. Even like, when he's like, "Are you sure he's dead?" And she's like, "Very," and he's like, "Good." But you could tell he was rattled. Like this felt like an authentic moment for someone who dealt with someone who's carrying. Because he's saying he's carrying something with him. Yep. Like he seemed genuinely
with him.
Freaked out by this.
The strengest thing I've seen. In my career or whatever.
Yeah, well, he sounded so good saying
he killed it, man. He killed that joint.
Right.
But yeah, like like you said, she peeled out, man, and then it starts her journey of trying to find her sister. So once she leaves the house, we're with her the whole time.
Yes.
And Shelby Oaks, essentially.
Right. She starts out at the prison.
Yep.
First of all, that was so dumb.
Like, why would you go there by yourself?
In the middle of the freaking night.
And you've seen the tape already how your sister freaked out. Yeah, now you're going to go.
She's going to go.
By yourself.
Alone.
I thought that was weird. But I did like that scare sequence. It was very creepy. I like the build up.
Yeah.
Like
how he was lurking.
And they really committed again to the supernatural stuff. He was lurking behind her. I like the camera shot where you could tell from his height. He's looking down on her. Yeah, that was really cool. Then she dips out. Like the dog comes inside and the dude grabs the hellhound. Like that was all dope.
Yeah, obviously really he was influenced by the first Omen because I was like the first Omen, but the Omen, the Omen, the original one, because you got hellhounds, you got a demon baby,
you got it all. Classics.
Yeah,
the classics.
But yeah, so that scene was really good. You don't really see him coming out of this cell, but you hear him walking towards her. Yep. And then the hellhound pops out because you're looking at the cell. So when the hellhound comes out from the left or the right side of the screen, you kind of like get you a little bit.
It's like a jump scare.
Because you weren't paying attention that, you weren't expecting that to come from that way. Yep. And then his hand pops out and grabs the hellhound.
That was dope. I did like that part.
It was pretty cool. Yep. I got to give him that.
And then she randomly just goes to the amusement park, which I didn't really get.
She drives to the amusement park next. No. Well, she goes there because she was standing at the cell window because
she could see the Ferris wheel.
He was staring at the Ferris wheel.
Okay.
So obviously to her, they're saying there's something there that I need to go check out and check out over there. So that's when she goes there, and the hellhound is out there. Leads her to a house in the middle of the woods. Right. And she goes to herself, I've got to go inside this house. Yeah. I've definitely got to go inside. Yep. So she goes to this house and she sees the symbols that she's been seeing up until this point, right? That marks the incubus. On the ground
and shit. Yeah.
And this old normal lady comes out and she's creepy as hell.
Yeah, she was creepy. I did like her.
Her creep factor was on 100 and it was...
Her voice sounded raspy, nasty, and stuff. She sounded so disgusting. Sickly, she was killing it.
Yeah, this whole scenario was like the Blair Witch.
It was.
If we had ever seen the Blair Witch, this is what she would look like. I think
even like the stick symbols and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But then she goes inside this house,
and she says, "That scene feels very strange to me because she's like walking around, looking at this lady's house,
just looking around."
This is very weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, we find out that Norma obviously wanted her there.
Yep, she did.
So she's just kind of like talking to her weirdly. She has this moment. There's one comedic moment when she's like, "Cracker."
The way she said it was funny.
The way
Cracker?
she said it was so hilarious.
Cracker?
She's like, no, because her house is covered in like mold.
Mold is nasty.
It's disgusting. Yep. Like, ugh.
Yeah, but eventually, I like the living room shot, that wide shot.
Very wide.
Felt very creepy, made her small. And then, she's noticing just like, because that's when it gets to reveal that Wilson Miles is the old lady's son. Mm-hmm. She's like, okay, like what the fuck's going on here? Because earlier she heard noises up on the second floor. So she's like, oh, you know what? I will take a snack to get her to go into the kitchen. She uses that time to she's about to go upstairs. She's about to go upstairs, and she looks and notices this black book.
She picks up a random photo album, and I'm like, this don't make sense. Why would she have done that?
And this is where we get the next twist or the reveal that Norma was holding, Riley hostage this last 12 years, like married her to her son, was forcing her to have all these babies, and all those sticks outside that she saw was graves for the babies. Mm-hmm. That was a crazy reveal. Even though it was just weird how she just randomly picked this shit up, and why would the lady have all these pictures in this book? But by the way, story wise, it was like, oh, that's interesting. That's
and this
crazy.
was another part where I said like the music was just way too loud as she's looking at the photos, like, and the camera is like zooming in on them closely. The music is just blaring.
Yep.
And I'm like, there's no need for this.
It was blaring.
It was ridiculous. But they're trying to make it seem like, oh, like this is such a crazy reveal right now. So you need to feel this in your chest, obviously.
Make sure that you feel it. So that reveal happens. And that's when she's like yelling at her, like, where's my sister?
Like, where's her sister? Right, yeah. Because the Normal obviously sees that she's looked at the photos. So she's like, well, let's just get this out in the open.
Yep. So she leads her downstairs, and then she got a whole dungeon down there, basically. And there's Riley locked up.
Yep.
And we have a moment where the incubus thing's in the corner. That was creepy. Really cool. Then there's also, you said that the lady was in the background too with her eyes. She was
up in the corner,
like Hereditary moment.
In Hereditary, when Toni Collette's character was crawling across the ceiling. It's very much like that.
Yeah.
But she does get her out. And as she's leaving, there was this really cool scene, right, where she's trying to get her out of the dungeon area, and Norma and the demon thing is
right there,
literally like following her.
That was a great shot.
One spot, and then she looks back and it's like close again. Mm-hmm. And she closes her up in there, but as they're trying to leave out, Riley is like, she's got to go back.
Yep.
She grabs a fireplace poker. They go upstairs, and obviously the old lady's gotten out now. But when they get upstairs, they hear a baby crying.
Yep. So they hear the baby crying, and they really take a while to really enter this room. I guess because Mia just doesn't know what to expect, I guess. But they take a long time to the room.
They're just staring at the door.
They finally enter it, and Norma's already in there performing her blood ritual where she's dripping blood all over his baby.
She finishes the whole ritual. I'm like, why are you standing here and letting this woman do this? Yep.
Like after they got knocked down the one time, she just sat there, and I'm like, that's weird. Yeah.
She just sat there watching her.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening?
Now I thought it was cool.
Go ahead.
That she had the powers. I was like, oh, that's cool. How she like literally picked them up and flung them. Like, okay, that's fire. I do like that supernatural element. But yeah, just weird. Like that they sat there and let her fully finish what she's trying to do. I thought that was dumb. But everything looked cool. It's just
they got knocked down and it was like, okay, we can't get back up.
Yeah, we quit. But yeah, that was super crazy. Well, we got 20% off. Okay.
The old lady ends up dying before she dies, she smears her blood over the photos of everybody in their little family.
Yep. Because the incubus is attached to the family. We saw it in the book earlier in the movie.
Yes, there was a book that she was reading. But yes, the incubus does attach themselves to the family. So she dies, and they get out. And this, to me, I don't much like the ending of this movie. But I feel like maybe this was the best ending that there could be. I don't know.
Maybe.
but I don't much. I like it though. But yeah, so in the end, let's go back. They finished the documentary.
Yeah.
You know, and as the lady who's directing the movie was like leaving, she's like, "Oh, how did you find her?" And she said, maybe something led me there.
Yep.
And then obviously that comes all together now, because what we find out while she goes upstairs as Riley is trying to suffocate her baby with the pillow.
Yep. Kill that baby.
She's like, it has to die. Her sister chooses to basically try to prevent her from killing the baby.
Yep.
In the midst of this, Riley goes flying out the window.
Yep.
Paralyzes herself, and the hellhounds come out,
tear her
to shreds.
All the way
and
up.
Again, Mia is just standing there crying. We're not running to call 911. We're just standing there.
Yep.
She's standing there watching her sister get torn apart by dogs.
Yep.
And then the demon man comes out.
The incubus.
And he puts his hand on her shoulder, and we also see a flashback of when she was a little kid, and she saw the demon in the window.
Yep.
And I feel like they were trying to say that, initially this was, all of this was a plan anyway, right?
Right. Yep.
The hellhound leading her to the house in the woods, her finally finding her sister, her taking the baby. It was all a plan. They were all part of this plan.
Yeah.
He wanted her to take the baby. He wanted to use her to breed, like the other sister to breed her, because the other sister couldn't have a baby.
Yep.
But yeah, this was all his master plan, and now he's controlling her just like he controlled the old lady. Because
he put his hand on her, and her eyes went all whatever. Like that glowy eyes, and she started screaming. And that was it.
That's how it ends. Now the music that comes on after this was actually really good. I like.
Yeah, I think the music in the credits did sound really good. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that was pretty much the movie. Like I said, there was a lot of cool moments, but also a lot of forgettable moments, also dry moments. And that's why I feel like I'm very split on this movie, because there's elements that are really cool, but then there's just some really odd story and pacing choices, and just kind of like dryness to it. That just doesn't make the movie feel good. So that's why I'm very middle of the road on the movie, where I'm like, yeah, I like it, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
So that's why I stand by the 3.5. I'm sorry, the 3 out of 5. That's why I stand by 3 out of 5 for Shelby Oaks.
Yeah. I do think he made some very smart filmmaking decisions. I do like you said, a lot of the way the shots that he did, how it looks, and I like his filmmaking, almost kind of like how I am about Zach Cregger's. I think he's a really good director. I like the way he brings the film together. But then I like the story of this movie too. I like that cult ritual, demonic entity type thing. Mm-hmm. I really like that story.
You're talking about just the filmmaking from Zach Cregger. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then I just didn't really like how he tried to put all these 3 different methods of filmmaking together. I think he should have just chosen one lane, and I think I might have liked this a lot better. But yeah, overall, I think I'm agreeing with you on the 3 out of 5.
I think it's 3 out of 5. It's for me, it's not a strong 3 out of 5. It's more like a barely 3 out of 5. And that's just because I like the supernatural shit a lot. But I think in full critic mode, I would go 2.5 out of 5. But personally, just for the supernatural elements and committing to supernatural elements, I give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Yeah, that's it, y'all. Well, that's what we think about Shelby Oaks. Let us know in the comments if you've seen the film. What do you think about Shelby Oaks? Did it work for you? Maybe some of those elements actually did. I've seen some people say it's seamless and it works. I just don't really see it personally. But let us know your thoughts and your favorite parts of Shelby Oaks. And I will say that I am looking forward to see what he does next. I think that obviously, he's got the talent is there. Just needs to be shaped and cultivated a little bit more. So I'm eager to see what he does next. I still think that a lot of YouTubers are winning right now in terms of making horror films. So it's cool that this is another film from a YouTuber that does really good. And he's got a super dope, inspiring story. If you haven't seen the interviews where he talks about everything, it's super dope, and it definitely will inspire other people to go out and just go make your movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely super dope for him to share that story and, you know, his background. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on Shelby Oaks, y'all. Check out the rest of our channel and our podcast for other reviews. We just did Black Phone 2. Super dope conversation around that film. That's a film that I would like a lot. And she doesn't like it as much, so it's actually a good conversation on that one. But yeah, we got plenty of other content. Go check out our Scream if you've seen this podcast, our weekly episode podcast where we talk about older films. We just talked about Night of the Demons. That was super dope conversation. That's over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But real quick, shout out to our Patreon and YouTube members for supporting us on that particular level. We appreciate y'all and love y'all for that. If you made it this far in the review, thank y'all for showing us that amount of love and sticking through. And, you know, it helps with the algorithm, all that stuff when you watch the whole thing and do the likes and all that stuff. So just shout out to our supporters who just tuning in all the time to all of our content, following, liking, and sharing. We thank y'all, appreciate y'all, and love y'all so much. But that's it for this video, or for this review. We see you in the next one because we out. Peace.